And
the
hello
next
there, you
part
guys. And
of
picking up right where we
this
left off, let's just get into the
terrarium
second
build.
half
That is,
of this
if there's not
terrarium build.
more
Right away,
mosses.
onto the intro.
So now we're here with all of our elements. We got our hardscape, our botanicals, and our plants all over here. And so first, we got to get in our hardscape. So I will be time-lapsing this. So yeah, first, that rock didn't really fit the theme, so we can just throw it over there, I guess. Now we got to make sure that we have a good configuration, or else the whole terrarium is bad. Now you always want to start with your biggest pieces, but you always also want to make sure that you get like your tallest pieces, not necessarily your widest pieces. So I found a nice little bit that fit my fancy, and so then I put the other plants in there. This is no longer time-lapsed. Yeah, you can just look at that. Looks pretty good. Yeah, and you always want to remember to put the lines, the seams of the jar facing away. So as I put in more mosses, I'll talk about this a little bit more. So when people make jars, they have two pieces of rounded glass that are the same size. And so then they press them against each other, and then they melt them against each other, and then they smoothen them out. And so there'll always be seams. Now sometimes they only make them with one seam. Sometimes they make it with multiple. But you always want to make sure that you do not have the seams facing towards the front. I actually did this on accident in the video where I made the free terrarium. We didn't think it had a seam. We thought it was just made of one continuous piece of glass, but we were wrong. And it had a seam, and we built it with the seam right in the front, and we didn't even realize. Anyways, now let's continue on. Looks like I accidentally did something. Oh, I'm gonna break a little bit more off of this chunk. Right. So as this goes on, I'll just cut in when stuff is happening. Anyway, so now I've got my broken off piece, and I'll just be putting it back. You gotta make sure it's not too big. This is why you want to collect more rather than less, because when you have more, you can just break pieces off and you can use them for propagation. But if you have less, then you have to go back out and get even more. Now it looks a lot better. I have a lot more space for the other plants. Next, I guess we'll be moving on to our mosses. Or I guess I'm just talking about how I have the other bit for propagation. But yeah, I'll cut back when we get to the mosses. And it looks like I put some of the mosses in without showing you guys, and I'm very sorry. But that looks really nice. Now, when you're building your terrarium, you shouldn't actually be worrying about what it looks like from the top, because you'll only be seeing it from the front. Now, I know that sometimes you've got like your glare, but you always want to build it looking from the front, not the top. You could try and challenge yourself and build it from the top, and then see if it turns out really nice. Because if you build it from the top and you put like your really tall elements in the middle, and then you get slowly smaller as you go outwards, that could make a really cool effect where it's like you have a big mountain in the middle, and it slopes down into like a flat, like plain or plateau type of area. Now I guess we're getting close to finishing up. Sorry for all the up and close and personal with my fingers. Anyways, yeah, that looks pretty nice. Now we're gonna want to take our spray bottle and wet everything down so that it doesn't dry out on us. You're going to want to do this pretty often, especially if you're doing like an aquascape where it's going to be filled with water and you're using aquatic plants. If you don't want to pour in water at the very beginning, which I do not recommend that you do, or else you'll be building in mucky water, you want to make sure that you spray down your plants often enough so that they do not die. Anyways, I guess now we'll be breaking off some little pieces of liverwort and then putting them in there. And so I guess I have. So yeah, that looks really, really nice. So now let's just take a little piece of walnut and we're just gonna not drop it, and we're just gonna go ahead and put it in there. But wait, we gotta break it first, so let's just go ahead and do this. And there we go. Now we have a bunch of little pieces which we can just sprinkle throughout. Now if it were bigger, I would be adding in like leaves and such, but it's not very big jar, and that's not a very big terrarium, so I cannot do that. But yeah, let's just go ahead and try and fit some sticks in there. Now that stick is pretty big as is, so I don't believe that that'll be fitting in like that. Maybe if I flip it over. Maybe if I put it over here. No, it's too tall. Guess we gotta shorten it down. Now luckily it's a very old type of stick, so I can just kind of like rub it against other wood and it'll shorten it down really nice. It's like sanding it down. So let's try and do this one more time. Or maybe a couple more times. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Let's keep it like that. Anyways, got another fairly small piece. I guess that one doesn't want to break. So maybe there's some pieces of wood in here. Oh, here's our sticks, or little, like twigs and stuff. Like little bits of leaf. So we'll just put that in there, like that. And so then, yeah. And then, I guess, we're just about done. So, yeah. Well, let's go inside right about now. Except that I've been keeping a little secret from you guys. Now, I know you've read the thumbnail, and so you know that this is a Valentine's Day terrarium, but there was nothing to do with Valentine's Day in it at all. Well, here it is. The Heartstone. I just used some super glue, some Gorilla super glue gel, not related to their company at all. But this is the Heartstone, and it will be going in the very center of our finished terrarium. So let's just go ahead and do that. And here we are, the finished Valentine's Day terrarium. Happy late Valentine's Day, everyone. And before you go, please just do remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified of all my future uploads. It's free and you can always change your mind. And also please do remember to comment on the video and share this video with your friends, enemies, and frenemies. And I'm Introvert out.